Hwaein, Kyo, and Seiji sat at a picnic bench in the courtyard of the school, peacefully eating their lunches. Their usual spot was on the roof, but it was currently closed off for some weird photo shoot that the photography club was doing. So, green-eyed Seiji hummed, "Are we gonna talk about the elephant in the room?" "What elephant in the room?" brown-eyed Kyo asked, chewing on her melon pan. "Hwaein's paired up with her worst enemy," Seijo cooed, making Hwaein's brow twitch. "I'm gonna curb stomp your kneecaps." "Please don't." The boy comically sulked. "I'm very fond of my kneecaps." "It'll be fine, Hwaein," Kyo reassured and patted her on the shoulder. "Yeah, it's not like you're getting married." Seiji laughed as Hwaein took a drink of her water. "The irony," she thought. "What's with that look?" Kyo narrowed her eyes at Hwaein. "Nothing," she curtly replied. Hwaein has known these two for a year now. Seiji was stupid as hell, but he had smart moments. He was a procrastinator, but somehow he manages as the third smartest person in the class. One time, Hwaein saw him do his homework while Miwa was collecting it. It was astounding that he had gotten a perfect score on it. He was vice president of the boys' soccer club. However, Hwaein was convinced that his mind only played the Mead theme 24/7. As for Kyo, the only thing that flowed through her veins was meme culture. In other words, she was a clown. However, she was an intelligent clown and kind of rich. Her family has owned a hospital for generations. In fact, it was the rival hospital to the Takebuyashis. She was also the student conductor for the school's advanced orchestra. Sometimes it felt like Hwaein was a concerned parent when it came to these two, because they were always on the same bullshit. However, it was Kyo who was truly the mom, because she stopped both Seiji and Hwaein from doing reckless things. For example, trespassing abandoned buildings at night. Seiji's reason was to look for ghosts. Hwaein didn't really have a reason other than boredom. Sometimes, Kyo's pleas for them to stop didn't work, and they ended up dragging her with them. Occasionally, Hwaein would scare the crap out of both of them and pretend to be the demon or ghost that inhabits the building. They were a very odd trio, but there was a mutual trust between them. "Ooh, Hwaein has a crush on President Asano?" Seiji teased. Hwaein shot him a glare. "I like my kneecaps." Hwaein huffed. "I will never have a crush on him." "That's what they all say." Seiji leaned back in his spot. "Speaking of Asano, I saw Arima hand him a love letter the other day. Hope that didn't make you feel jealous, Hwaein." For some reason, hearing that made Hwaein flinch. However, that wasn't the first time her heart did something like that at the sound of someone confessing to Gakushu. The trio has had several conversations about the latest second-year school gossip, and a good amount of them revolved around Gakushu. He was basically the most intelligent guy in the school, with only Karma rivaling him for that spot. Each time the name Asano and the word confession were in the same sentence, Hwaein's heart would jump and a pit in her stomach would form. At first, she didn't know why, because she knew she despised the guy. But then after it happened multiple times, she concluded that it was the stupid soulmate thing. Wait, Seiji, you forgot. Kyo snickered. Hwaein has a crush on Akabane. Hwaein choked on a piece of rice. "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." Seiji chuckled. "Maybe the reason why you hate Asano is because he's Akabane's rival." Boy, do I wish that was the reason. The hair-colored-haired girl let out a sigh. "Also, it's not like I want to even date Karma. Why do you hate Asano so much?" Kyo asked. "I mean, I know you guys went to the same junior high, but come on, he can't be that bad, can he?" "Yeah, you always dodge it whenever we ask." Seiji pouted. Hwaein took a sip of her water. "You guys really want to know?" "Yes." "Well," she took another sip of her water. "Asano and I are soulmates." Hold on, wait, what the fuck? Are you deadass? Yes, I'm dead ass. And so Wyan spent the rest of the lunch period explaining to her two best friends that her and the student council presidents were in fact soulmates. Wyan had a free period, which she used to help out the drama club with their backdrops. Pᴇʀ had given out the word to them, as fellow fine art people, that she was well versed when it came to visual arts. She had to stop by her locker to grab her own brushes and paints, since school funding spends more money on sports clubs instead of fine arts clubs. Unfortunately, the few basketball club members, who also had a free period, were busy installing a new reclining basketball hoop for some reason that took up the entire hallway, causing Wyan to take a detour. As she made her way from her locker to the theater, where she usually met the drama club members, she crossed the courtyard. She gripped her paintbrushes in one hand, draped her smock over her forearm, and carried her clear pencil pouch of slightly expensive paint sets in the other hand. When she noticed her strawberry blonde soulmate, she paused and ducked behind a tree. Gakushu was sitting at a picnic bench, underneath a shady tree across the courtyard. He didn't seem to notice her as he was busy flipping through his notes. I guess he has a free period too, she thought as she subconsciously started observing his features. Some light seeped through the leaves of the tree, casting lights on some part of his face. It reflected into his amethyst eyes, which reminded Wyan of the first time she had seen the color. His strawberry blonde hair framed his face almost perfectly as his sharp eyes skimmed the pages of his notebooks. He's not bad looking, Wyan inwardly admitted. He'd be a good model. By that, she meant a model to draw. After accidentally admiring his features, her eyes went wide and she shook her head. Just because he's pretty doesn't mean he's not a prick, she reminded herself. She straightened her back and walked out from behind the tree, finally crossing the courtyard. Gakushu looked up at the sound of someone passing by at a distance. There, he saw his hair-color-haired soulmate crossing the courtyard. How wonderful. My soulmate skips class, he inwardly groaned. She held an expensive-looking paint set in a clear pencil case, gripped brushes, and draped a smock over her forearm. This made him raise an eyebrow. Ellen, Hiromi Watanabe, one of Kyo's friends in the drama club, called out from the doors to enter the building from the courtyard. We were wondering where you were. Hiromi was also a second year and president of the drama club. Gakushu couldn't help but listen in on their conversation. Sorry, Wyan apologized with a kind smile. I had to take a detour. Basketball club had to help out with the installation of the new basketball hoop into the gym, which for some reason takes up the whole hallway. Of course they are, Hiromi sighed. In any case, thank you for volunteering to help us during your free period. It's no problem. I like painting, so I might as well help someone out with it. Wyan chuckled. Hiromi beamed, but in the corner of her eye, she saw Gakushu. President Asano. Hiromi bowed respectfully. Thank you for fighting for more funding of the Fine Arts Department. Wyan inwardly rolled her eyes. Gakushu shook his head with his usual benevolent smile. I was barely able to get any for you at all. Nonsense! Hiromi shook her head. Thanks to your feats, we're probably able to make this year's play the best one yet. I see. Gakushu nodded. What will it be this year? A Midsummer Night's Dream. You should come see it on opening night. Hiromi answered with glee and grabbed Wyan's shoulder, making her jump. Featuring backdrops by the best artist in the school. Gakushu was intrigued by this. The once colorblind girl is now the best artist in the school? You flatter me too much, Watanabe. Wyan awkwardly laughed. However, she was secretly taking pride in the fact that this girl was boasting about her artistic abilities to the person she despised so much. In that case, I'll see if I can make space in my schedule for it, Gakushu replied. He lied. He had no intention of going whatsoever. Please, look forward to it. Hiromi grinned. Ellen and I have to get going now. Nice chatting with you. Hiromi let go of Wyan, leading the way to the door. Before Wyan moved from her spot, Her eye-color eyes met piercing violet. They shared an intense and heated stare. They were soulmates paired up by fate, who was now meddling in their business. Neither of them would have been surprised if fate was the one who had planned for them to be partners for a Shakespearean romance that ended in tragedy. "Ellen!" Hiromi called from the doors. Wayne walked away from Gakushu. "Coming." Gakushu scoffed and went back to studying. Soon, she was out of his sight. A little while later, Gakushu checked the time. There was an hour left of his free period. He decided that he'd go check the student council room if there was anything he needed to attend to. As he walked through the hallways, he heard a few voices. "I kind of feel bad for Wayne, not gonna lie." Kyo frowned. "What about her?" Seiji questioned. "You know, the whole soulmate thing?" Gakushu paused and hid behind the corner. "Shh, someone could probably hear you," Seiji whisper yelled. "No one's around," Kyo mumbled. "I just kind of wish we could help her." "Help her with what?" "I don't know, giving Asano a chance?" Kyo frowned. Gakushu rolled his eyes at the statement. "As if," Seiji snorted. "As much as I want to help her too, you heard what she said. She'll only give him a chance if he'd give her a chance. And even then she'll be stubborn, not to mention her crush on Akabane." Gakushu felt his heart thump and his stomach twist into knots. His eyebrows furrowed as he grabbed his chest. He had never felt this feeling before. It's not like he even cared about who she had a crush on. But why did he feel so sour all of a sudden? He clicked his tongue in annoyance and stepped out from his hiding spot, not wanting to hear any more of the conversation. He swiftly walked past them. Both Kyo and Seiji froze. "Oh fuck." In a split second, they began to scramble after him. Seiji almost slipped in the process. "President Asano!" Gakushu irritably turned around, plastering a charismatic smile on his face. "Yes?" "You heard our conversation, didn't you?" Seiji panicked. Gakushu scowled. "And if I did?" Seiji looked to Kyo, signaling to her that he didn't know what to say. Kyo rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and blurted out to Gakushu, "Don't be such a prick to YN." Seiji's sweat dropped. "That works too, I guess." "I beg your pardon?" Gakushu questioned. "She's worth so much more than you probably think." Kyo furrowed her eyebrows. "Yeah, that's right," Seiji agreed. "You're lucky to have her as a soulmate." "And why exactly should I believe that when she doesn't even think the same for me?" Gakushu raised an eyebrow. "You said it yourselves. She likes Akabane." As those words rolled off his tongue, he felt another painful thump. "Does that not hurt to hear?" Kyo frowned. "You are soulmates." "Let's make this clear." Gakushu glared at them, making them both freeze. "Whatever she thinks of me, whoever she has a crush on, is none of my business." Both Seiji and Kyo scowled at him as he finished. "I do not care." I'm internally screaming. Okay, guys. Okay, so if you don't know, I was blushing the entire rest of this part. I need to calm down, my heart is beating so fast. A fun fact, my theater club for my school, which I am involved in, not this semester, but actually performed Midsummer Night's Dream 2 years ago, I think, when I first moved to the school in my sophomore year. And it was like the last semester, and I helped out. I was like stage crew and that, but that's just a fun fact. Every time somebody says, "Oh yeah," like in a fan fiction or in a story, "We're doing a Midsummer Night's Dream, it's the play," I'm just like, oh my god, relatable. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this the rest of this part. Have an amazing morning, have an amazing evening, have an amazing afternoon whenever you are listening to this, and I'll see you when I see you. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day. Yeah, goodbye everyone.